Let's call our ChatGPT API and see how we can utilize that. So we'll be calling it from the Postman. To just explore how is the format, like what all these parameters we need to pass along in order to create a conversation. So let's copy this guy. So content type, application slash JSON, authorization, bearer, your API key. Let's initialize a variable so that we don't have to hard code in this environment. OpenAI key. Let's create a new environment. And let's initialize with a value. And let's save this one. And when we are here in this collection, we have to set our environment. Okay, and now let's set up the body parameters. That should be JSON. And the model name is GPT 3.5 Turbo, role user, hello. Let's send this out and see what's the response. Okay, so chat completion, prompt token 9, completion token 11, total tokens 20. So assistant says, hello, how can I help you today? How can I assist you today? Finish, reason, stop. Okay, let's see how we can continue the conversation. Up to 4 sequence where API will stop generating further tokens. Okay, given a prompt. Wait a second, we only have this much documentation. Okay, let's see here and understand the concept. Yeah, so chat models take a series of messages as input and return a model generated message as output. Although the chat format is designed to take multi-turn conversation easy, it's just as useful for single-turn tasks without any conversation. Okay, so messages is an array, and yes, it is an array. So let's format this thing. And this time we are going to give the response that was generated by ChatGPT. So this time the role will be assistant. And content is, so basically we can copy these two properties from here directly. All right, so now let's see what's the response. Okay, we have to ask as a user as well, and we haven't asked anything. So here you see the just replies with something, and we have to ask the user question. Let's create a conversation. This time, what is my name? And it will tell that I do not know, and this like similar to this format answer it will give, because still it the chat GPT doesn't know my name. So here you see, I'm sorry, but as an AI language model, I don't have access to that information. Can you please tell me your name? So in that case, let's copy this one, and let's ask another question. And this time I'll say my name. It's JD. And let's see the response. Hi JD, how can I help you today? And now what I'm going to say, let me first copy this response, and let me ask another question. And this time I'll ask what is my name. So we are just checking how it remembers the state. And here it says your name is JD. So that's pretty cool. So this is how we can utilize the ChatGPT API in order to build a conversation by passing the user role and along with the assistant. So basically, if you want to remember any state, just copy the response and put back to the input JSON. So why don't we build it with Composer? This we haven't tried yet, right? So let's try to build with the Composer, that so that we explore a new thing. So it will be quicker to build as well. So let's start with the empty pod. ChatGPT bot. So the first thing that I'm going to do is how to configure this configuration for the bot framework composer. So we come to this page, configure, advanced settings, and that will open up all the settings. And here we are going to give for our bot, basically OpenAI configuration. So one settings that we are going to give is API key and some value, and another configuration is endpoint. So let's copy that from our Postman. So that is my endpoint, and this should be my API key. Alright, so bot replies with some welcome message. Welcome to ChatGPT bot, I can remember what you said. If you want to start fresh, just reply with new. Okay, so this is the command that we'll be taking from the user. If user said new, then we don't have to store any more conversation, so we'll be starting with a new conversation. All right, so that is our welcome message. So let's start the bot and see the welcome message. And there it is, right? So we'll be implementing everything in the unknown intent. So unknown intent is triggered when none of the intents are satisfied. So this greeting intent will only be triggered once when user joins the conversation, and the activity name is conversation update activity. So in this case, when both parties join the conversation, who are the two parties? One is the bot and another one is the user. So this intent will only be triggered then. And this one, if none of the intents get satisfied, if I have like multiple intents, for example, let's say I have something called as agent intent, and here's some utterances. Utterances are when, how do you want this intent to get triggered? So if user input says like agent, help, escalate, talk to human. So if user types something similar to this input, then this particular intent will get triggered, right? So if we have multiple intents like this, then they get triggered based on the user input. If none of them satisfied, it always come to this unknown intent, right? And here we're going to start with, first we have to check what's the user input. To do that, first we have to set a property. In this case, user okay, we don't have to set because it will always be there in turn dot activity dot text, so we don't have to set that up, but we do have to set our input. No, first we have to check if whatever user has set is new. That means turn dot activity dot text. So whatever user has said will always come in this property. So we are going to check if that equals new. Okay. In that case, we have to reset the state. So initializing our state here. So there are various scope for the state. So if we are using user, means that is valid for the lifetime of the user conversation. If we are using dialog, then that will be valid only for a single dialog. If you are using turn, that means that will be valid only for single activity turn. That means if we are on this first step and you reply back to the user and then we come to the second step, then that means that's another turn. So here we just start with user dot data. Let's initialize with that. And for now, let's say, okay, let's create an object. We can create an object. So let's copy our object from here. So initially we started with this one, messages. So let's copy this object. Let's see how we are going to append everything. Still I haven't figured that out. but let's see. No, that's an array. Let's create an array. That will be better. Okay. So user content hello. So that's our first state that we want to create. And this should not come here. This should be part of here. And initially, it should always come up here. Okay, so how do we check the initial state? Or if it is new, or let's say something here. How do we apply or condition? Let's see what composer documentation. Yeah, just on adaptive expressions. Yeah, here it is. So we want to try with logical expressions or this one. So let's try that. Or term dot activity, not term dot activity, or is, let's say user dot is new. So this property will be specifying in our greeting dialog. So that tells us that user is new. So here we are going to set this property and that will be true. And once user is new, then we can reset this property. So basically here. False. So this is only one time use when user is new, then after that it will always be false. So that statement, wait a second, this should be AND condition. Not AND, or this satisfied or this satisfies. It should be OR condition. Okay, so now let's call our API first. So there's an inbuilt functionality to call HTTP request. And here we have to pass our endpoint. So since we have already mentioned that endpoint in settings, we can retrieve it like this. Settings dot OpenAI dot endpoint. So this is how we can retrieve that, and that's an expression. Not sure if that should be an expression, but we can always check. Okay, and here we have to create an object. So the first property that we want to send is this model. And the second property that we want to send is messages. And that's an array. And we already have defined the messages, so we can just write an expression. Uh-oh. We missed. Why this is coming every time? We cannot expand this as well. Messages and we want to retrieve it from our user.data because that's an array, right? And that is all we have to pass, and along with that we have to pass as headers, and headers is settings dot OpenAI dot, and what is the property name? So endpoint, so API key, that's our property name. Headers settings dot OpenAI dot API key, that's authorization. Okay, and whatever the result will be there, it will be stored in this turn dot result, and this one we have to set application slash JSON. It's not required, but still we have to set. And response type, it will be a JSON, right? And it is bearer and the token. So bearer, we have to write it here, space and whatever the value. Alright, so we are good to go. Let's delete this and send a response in the chat. To send a response, we just have to use the send a response. And so the output will be present in turn dot results. So let's retrieve our output and turn dot result, and let's check the response. So it is choices. Okay, turn dot results dot body. I think it should be body dot content. Let's see. Yeah, let's try that. Maybe content body dot content. I think body should not. Let's try with body first. Body dot content dot choices, and it is a array. So first element dot message, and inside message content. All right, let's see. And also let me send just turn dot result as well, just to see if that is coming. Turn dot results, just to verify if whatever we have written on the next send a response is correct. Okay, so what's the error here? In ChatGPT trigger action send HTTP URL must be an expression. Okay, so I think here equal to is not required. Yeah, so let's restart the bot and see the response. Restart the conversation and let's say hi. So initially it will be hi only, so we have to dynamically set this content, so basically this value. So it should be turn dot activity dot text. So whatever user has replied, we have to set it in the content. So let's restart. Hi. Okay, it's bad request. And what's the error? Message Role user content hi is not of type array. Messages type why it is not of type array. We have initialized our array, right? User.data, and that seems to be an array. Okay, let's print that value up here. User.data. Let's try something chatbot by passing the content directly as a JSON. Like hardcode this for now. So messages. Okay. It should not be surrounded by. No. It should be surrounded. Let's see if we can just enter. I think we cannot do that. We have to add double quote. Okay, let's surround that with. Let's add it manually for now. Okay. Okay, we are getting some response, and see, we do not get our final response, so we have missed that. So the output will come here. This is the whole turned out results, and the output will be part of where is that content. So there is no body parameter here, so there is no body property in between. It just turned result content choices. Then we can get rid of this part, we can get rid of this one, and yeah, that is all. So let's just add code, and here we get some response. So let's see how the code comes in picture. So this we haven't tried, right? So let's try it in Postman first, and instead of what is my name, how to get today's date in C#, just to check how the code will be returned. So it is content. To get a day, you can use datetime dot property, and this is how the example snippet. So it is 3 that back inverted single quote, and let's see how it will behave it there. So the formatting is same, it's just that they have added this markdown and HTML syntax. So let's ask here in this, how to get today's date in C#. I doubt it will format because it's simply a web chat window. It really gives a nice formatting. That's nice. So it gives us a code piece as well. Let's add something bigger code. recursive example in C#. Perfect, perfect. It really gives a nice formatting of the code. Enter a number. Can I expand my chat window? I doubt. Okay, that's pretty cool. But yeah, we have to fix this piece in order to remember the state. So let's try to do that. And user.data user.input data, and that's an array. Paste the array to JSON object. Okay, this is what we need. So equals to conversation update. Don't use the string interpolation, but use an expression. Okay, let's do that. Equals to user dot input data. Hope this works. Okay, perfect. That worked perfectly fine. And now we can see to merge them for the next iteration. So we need to set this property. Let's quickly do that. Basically append array. So let's see how we can append array bot framework composer. We have to find something from here. Collection first join returns a string that has all the items from an array and has each character. And let's see if we can append that property. Returns a collection that has all the items from a specified collection. I think this should work. Union, and that is what we needed. Okay, let's try that. Union and the array collection and the array collection. Let's try this one. So we need to set our user dot input data, and let's write the expression search for union. So the first array is my user.input data, and my second array will be the output from this response. So we got to create that one, temporary property. So we need to name this as turn dot output data, and this has to be an array. So value must be an expression, syntax error. Is it throwing it here, the output? Okay, the error is for the other one, not that. So here this should be turn dot output data, and let's check over here how the response will be. So we need this particular object inside an array, right? So that is message. So let's set array object equals to turn dot results dot content dot choices, the first element dot message, right? And here we gotta combine them. So turn dot output data. All right, and let's see. And in this case, when it will come next time, this guy will get executed. So we need to put this one over here. And this should not be this way. The same expression that we have written should come over there. Paste. So let's see the expression and collection. So let's create a temporary variable. That means turn dot new input. All right, and in this case it will be like this, comma turn dot new input, right? And we need to set, if user has said new, then we got to clear that property. I think it will automatically get overwritten by this value. Yes. All right, so let's get rid of this one and restart the bot. Let's see how it behaves. Okay, finger crossed. Hi. Hello, how can I assist you? What is my name? Okay, value cannot be null. Perfect. So I asked what is my name, and it said value cannot be null, and for what it has said. And value cannot be null. Is it user.isName? No, I don't think so. And user.input data. Let's put a stack trace for each and every property. That will help us. And that's gonna help us in debugging. So log to console. So start unknown. At the start of the unknown, we got a print user dot is new. This is the property that we are gonna print. Start new user dot is new, and what is its value? True. Okay, let's copy this because we are going to reuse that. And let's print it here as no, not this, stack trace. I think here we already come to know that that's the value. Here we need to check. Oh, sorry, wrong message. The text should come here. Label is for stack trace used to identify it in a list of trace activities. Okay. Let's get rid of this start unknown. And what's the value? This one. So here false. And here we are going to check that property along with we are going to check for user dot input data. And user dot input data. Okay, and let's put one more here. And this time turn dot output data. Turn dot output data. Turn output. Send stack trace true. Send stack trace true. And here also we need to set. The reason being why I'm not copy pasting, because when I copy paste all values change. Basically all the there's synchronization between this log to console. I guess that's a bug. So here I'm going to copy it from here. User dot input data, and after response true. So let's now debug what is happening. Test in web chat. Restart the conversation. Let's say hi to the bot. And here you see stack trace, start unknown. At the start of that, user is new is true. That's correct. And hello, how can I assist you today? So turn output, it is an array, role, assistant, content, hello, how can I help you today? Okay, that's fine. Next is after response, and it should append that role, user, content, comma, role, assistant, content. So that is working pretty good. Next I'm going to say what is my name. And let's see. So start unknown, it is false. When we come to false, is new is false, and user input, hi assistant, hello, how can I assist you today? That's correct. And there's an issue over here. Ah, there is no output data. See here, this we have missed because output data was part of this property, not the other one. So user.input data and turn.new input. So let's see how it behaves now. Hoping this should work now. Hi. What is my name? I'm going to use the same scenario that we have done in the Postman. I apologize, but as an AI language model, I don't have access to personal information. Okay. And okay, my name is JD. Nice to meet you, JD. How can I assist you today? This is a good part now. What is my name? Your name is JD. That's a pretty cool, amazing thing. Now it remembers the state. Okay, now we have to check one more scenario where I just type new, then it should restart the conversation, right? And before restarting, and this should not, if it is new, then okay, if it is new, we have to put one more condition. Is that my condition? Oh, wrong. Create a condition. So we have to verify if turn dot activity dot text is equals to new. In this case, what I have to do, I have to reset that property and send just hi to the bot. All right. So set property. In this case, we are going to set our turn dot activity dot text, and we're going to set with hi. Let's use an expression hi. Okay, so we are setting with this property so that when it comes there, it knows what to do. Let's restart the bot. Okay, so let's start with hi. How can I assist you today? Let's start with that, remembering the state. What is my name? Let me draft the next message. My name is JD. What is my name? Your name is JD. Okay, this time I'll just say new. Hello, how can I assist you today? And let me ask again, what is my name? I'm sorry. Then here you see, it forgets your name and it restarts the conversation. That's pretty cool and amazing. And now we have completely built the ChatGPT, the latest API with remembering the state. That's amazing. All right. So how do we implement in, let's say, Microsoft Teams or web chat? That we can do it in our one of other sessions. But yeah, this is what we wanted to implement. And for a quick testing, let's not do that. Let's not go that route. Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks for your time.